My name's Hal Johnson. I live at 2449 Mockingbird Street, and just like most everybody else who spoke tonight, I'm directly across the street from the power plant that they want to build in our community and all over the county for that matter. I prepared for everybody here tonight just a little handout, something that we'll go through, just some things I want everybody to see and be aware of.
I thought you were doing the power.
I'm terrible with computers. I don't want to do that to you.
You know, that all that is going on and everybody not caring about it.
Okay, the first thing I wanted to say is right here, we went out the old-fashioned way and went door to door. And we talked to all of our neighbors and everybody in the county and in these communities and asked them what they thought about it. Explained everything to them. Right here in front of you, I've got a petition signed by people from all over the county. 700 signatures. And keep in mind, now we only got informed about this on August the 8th. The first meeting that they had was August the 16th. Even though the ordinance states that as soon as the application's turned in, we're supposed to, the surrounding landowners within 500 feet of the property are supposed to be notified. The application was turned in April 25th. We got notified August 8th. What I wanted to say to start off with, and I've said this ad nauseum at all the planning commission meetings, the application, number one, the first page is an application checklist. Now, if you'll look down that checklist, I've highlighted items 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All of those items are missing or incomplete. And why are those items missing and incomplete? Well, there's a reason for it. If you'll turn to the very next page, that's a letter from Innovative Solar and their salesperson, Lance Roddy. I've highlighted that the Innovative Solar Systems, along with the farmers and their families, respectfully ask Darlington County to allow a solar farm to be approved by the Planning Commission without providing all these items required by the solar ordinance. The reason we ask for this is because the county approval is necessary for our investors to devote millions of dollars to these projects. Not the company itself, but they want to get investors to do this. They don't have the upfront money to pay for all of these items that are requested and deemed necessary by the ordinance. They don't have the money. That's why they want you to, everybody just kind of let it slide. Well, if you look at the next page, this is an email. And it says, there's a lot of words here, but it says finally, however, we can bring your request before the Planning Commission for a conditional final approval without having the two outstanding requirements. What's a conditional final approval? I've read through every ordinance Darlington County has, and I see nowhere they mention a conditional final approval or who has the authority and power to grant. I can't find it. If somebody knows where it's at, please just let me know, because I haven't been able to find that. If you keep looking over, that conditional final approval is noted on another page in an email in correspondence with Innovative Solar. On the next page, I just wanted to let everybody know, number one, any one of these solar farms or power plants, any one of these gets permitted in Darlington County is going to be the largest in the state of South Carolina. Currently, the largest one in the state of South Carolina is 47 acres. The smallest one they're trying to permit out of these 4 in this batch is 180. And if you read this email, it also says there are at least 5 and possibly 8 more solar farm sites proposed in Darlington County. It's not stopping here. This is only one investor. There's only one land developer. Once they get everything in and start moving, you're just opening up the gate for all the rest of them to come in. If we don't have a tougher ordinance or we don't make a stand now, it's never going to stop. And why do they want to come to Darlington County? Well, if you read on their website, the reason they want to go to rural areas is simple. They state it right there on their website. Because in rural areas, the ordinances are lax and easy and quick to get approval, and we can start construction quicker. That's it. I mean, it says it right there. These solar farms, these power plants, they're not like a regular power plant. They're not creating jobs. We've already been told that they'll have these things up and running in 4 to 6 months. The only jobs that's going to be created is somebody to put up the perimeter fence. They're going to bid everything out to the lowest bidder to come in from wherever, out of state, or out of county, or out of you know, wherever, to come in and install these solar panels. They're not gonna make jobs here in South Carolina, not in Darlington County. Not gonna happen. Not only is it not gonna create permanent jobs, but I don't know if anybody's aware, but PV solar, that's photovoltaic solar panels, the cost to create a kilowatt hour of power out of these is 12.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Currently, with the power production that we have now, be it nuclear, be it hydroelectric or natural gas, they range from 8.5 cents to 9.4 cents per kilowatt hour. So I'm basically saying to you, this costs 33% more to produce this power. So not only is nobody in the community going to benefit from jobs, nobody's power bill is going to go down either. Chances are, if you're paying 33% more for power that the government mandates you have to have, your power bill is going to go up in the community. It's not going down. Another thing, this is, if you look over, I'll get to that in just a moment, I'm sorry. This land is to be leased by these solar companies. They want to lease the land for 30 years. They're paying anywhere from $700 to $1,200 an acre to lease an acre per year. Now, you know, I did go to business school. I know a little bit about business. If you can buy this property for, let's say, $4,000 an acre or $5,000 an acre, and you want to lease it for 30 years, that's not a very smart business move. Why wouldn't you buy the land up front? Well, there's a reason why you don't want to buy it up front, because they don't want to be stuck with it at the end. When it's time to clean this stuff up, there's something called decommissioning. Decommissioning means you got to go out there and take everything that you put out there on the land, take it back and get rid of it. We've already told you that these solar panels are toxic. They contain chemicals. You can't put them in a landfill, so you've got to do something with them. So the ordinance requires that we have a decommissioning plan. Well, if you look in your little booklet that I gave you, this is their decommissioning plan. If you look at it, it's 10 sentences. That's all it is. 10 sentences. These power plants are going to cost anywhere from $20 to $30 million each. They're going to cover 185 acres to up to 250 acres each. I can't believe the next page, this is a decommission plan. This is a typical decommission plan. It's 15 pages long. But because the ordinance said they had to have one with certain requirements in it, they gave you these 10 sentences. My favorite part is the salvage value of this project will far outweigh the decommissioning cost. It is expected that the decommissioning project will be bid out to salvage professionals as a profit-making enterprise. Well, everything that I have researched on every decommissioning plan I can find anywhere, every time it costs money. If you look at the very last page, this project decommissioning costs for a 20 megawatt power plant. The smallest one we've got here that they're proposing now is 25. This 20 megawatt power plant is going to cost $2.1 million to get rid of. $2.1 million. One of these proposed solar farms is 40 megawatts. So you might as well, you can do the math there, 20 and 40. You know, we're talking about over $4 million to get rid of it. Well, I've read the lease and I know what's coming. They can sell, and they even said in their meeting here two months ago that their sole purpose in this whole endeavor is to get these things up, get investors, and sell it. They plan to have these farms sold to somebody, some investor, within 3 to 5 years. Innovative Solar, each one of these solar farms is a separate LLC. The LLC has one member, their president, one member, and one asset, that particular solar farm. The lease states that that solar company is going to be in charge of decommissioning these solar farms. Well, let me ask you this. If you're going to sell the one asset you have within 5 years, are you going to keep your business open for the next 25 years? Or are you going to close it down and move to the next one? Then who's going to be stuck with the decommissioning costs? Is it going to be the landowner? Is it going to be the county, the state, the taxpayers? Certainly not going to be the people who close their doors. That's just not going to happen. Just to go over this, I mean, There's no bond required to put in 185 acres worth of solar panels. Nothing. You put in one communication tower, which takes up about 3 to 4 acres. They have to have a $25,000 bond to get rid of that one tower. What are you going to have? What's it going to require to get rid of 200 acres worth of solar panels? It just kind of reminds me, anybody ever see those big, huge satellite dishes that came out in the 80s, in the 90s, sitting out in everybody's yard so you could watch HBO in the football games? Well, when they came out with the ones the size of pizzas, people went and stuck those in front of them. Those big ones are still sitting there. You can drive all throughout the county, they're still sitting there. Now we're talking about 100,000 here, 100,000 there, 100,000 here. Nobody's going to be around to get rid of them. One last thing I wanted to say is that we brought all these people here tonight because they feel the same way about this situation as we do. Everybody, you know, I'm sure everybody would like to get up and speak, but it's just, so what I'd like to do, instead of everybody getting up and speak, I'd just like to see a show of hands of everybody who came here tonight who was opposed to all these things going in our own communities. Thank you.
Has anybody checked to see that they have any of these things in Maryland? I said this country is out of Maryland.
Yes, sir, that was an example of an actual, that solar farm there is actually put on a penitentiary site because they wouldn't allow it to go in the neighborhood, so they actually put that on the federal penitentiary site. That particular, yes. Thank you.